Welcome, guys, and a happy Tuesday. We are kicking off the show with tech problems already, so get ready. Who knows what is going to happen on this live tonight? It's all up in the air. We do not have our producer extraordinaire, Sam, to be behind the scenes fixing everything, so stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen. But I'm so excited that you guys are sticking with us on Tuesday night and joining this episode of Season Sunflower Hour. As always, it's going to be another amazing show, and I'm so pumped to have you with us. If you are brand new to this show, thank you. I'm so glad that you found us. Welcome to the family here. Make sure you put up in the comment section where you're tuning in from. We love to see who's watching and where you're at. And you know what? Maybe even throw in there, guys, what's the best part of your day so far? Share it with us. I love to hear those things. So make sure you blow up that comment section. And while you're at it, while we're throwing out some challenges, make sure that you like and that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You like the content. You want to make sure you're getting notified every time we go live so that you never miss an episode. And speaking of things that you also do not want to miss, we have so many really cool things coming up for ALS United Greater Chicago. You know, we always do. I get so excited to share with you guys what is going on, and no exception. September is just around the corner. I cannot even believe that. And we've got some big things. We are kicking off Walk ALS. There are amazing events throughout September. So if you guys are in the area and you want to join, you want to stop by, you have plenty of opportunities. We have Walk ALS Peoria happening on September 6th. Walk ALS Champaign the very next day on September 7th, and then Northern Illinois Walk ALS is happening on September 21st. Those are such incredible events. If you guys have never experienced a Walk ALS, you are absolutely missing out. Come see, even if you don't want to walk, it's a great family event. There's so many activities, there's so many incredible people, and you've probably have heard me if you've seen this show before, you've heard me talk about it. The energy at these events is unmatched. There's literally nothing like it. Come out, experience it, bring the whole family. If you do want to walk for a cause, there's still that opportunity. Not only can you still create a walk team, but you can join someone else's walk teams. Plenty of opportunities. We're always looking for volunteers as well. If you want to come and give some time to help with the registration, help with any of the booths, we have all the opportunities. You can find more information on our website, alsunitedchi.org. Check us out there. You can find all of the information there. I love this. We've already got someone jumping in here who is tuning in and watching the show. We are pumped and excited too. I am so happy that you're here again. So you guys stay tuned. Like I said, if you're watching, I see those numbers. I see you guys watching. So make sure you let us know where you are tuning in from. And thanks as always for joining us. Now, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get straight to it. Now, if you guys saw the last episode, you got to meet a couple that are running for Team ALS, which is super cool, super exciting. They're going to be traveling overseas to run for Team ALS. Well, tonight, it is time to meet somebody who is going to be walking for ALS for an amazing cause. Our guest tonight had no idea that participating in the Ice Bucket Challenge 11 years ago would take on a whole new meaning just 10 years later. It turns out that ALS, a cause Laura and her family weren't so familiar with at the time, was about to give her a front row seat to what those three letters really mean. In 2024, Laura's mom, Linda, was diagnosed with ALS. Linda lost her battle just 1 year later, this past April. Now, it's only been 4 months since Linda made her way to heaven, but here to share her story and continue the fight in her mom's honor, please welcome the extremely brave ALS advocate, Laura Murphy. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Susan.
I am so pumped. I'm so excited to have you here. That everyone tuning in, please bear with us. We were having some, it's on me, Wi-Fi issues. So I think I scared Laura to death. So be here, give her all kinds of encouragement. If you guys lose me, Laura's got this. She will hold it down and I will be back as quickly as possible. But Laura, you are a champ. You are such a champ. Oh, look at this. Do you know what, Josh? We've got Josh tuning in from Florida.
That's my brother-in-law.
We'll give him a big shout out. Thanks for tuning in. A big hi to the whole family. I have a feeling you guys are fantastic too. I have to say, I think this sounds really corny, but I think absolutely incredibleness runs in your family just from the way that you and I were talking the other day, the way you were talking about your mom. I think it's so amazing. I didn't get the pleasure of meeting her, unfortunately, and I'm sure possibly a lot of people that are going to end up watching this may, have not have met her either. So for those of us that hadn't had the pleasure, can you tell us a little bit about your mom?
I sure can. So, if you had met her, you would love her because she just is so open and friendly and kind and says nice things, checks in with people, takes care of people. So, she really was just that kind of person. And we saw a lot of that even during the last year, encountering many different healthcare providers, different folks that we wouldn't have otherwise encountered. And everybody left loving my mom. Like there was just a special connection between her and her nurses, and she just never really has a bad thing to say about anybody.
Oh, such a sweetie. She sounds amazing. And even just the bond, we were talking about this, right? The family bond, and you're close to your daughters. It sounds so beautiful. It sounds like such an amazing relationship that you have. Even some fun. I'm jealous. I keep saying, I told you, I need to, if my mom's watching the show, we're going to set up a date night. You guys have Disney movie date nights, which I think is so amazing. You virtually set up and you watch your Disney movies together. I think that is so cool. So definitely want to hear about that. But first, do you think that you learned some of these lessons from your mom? I mean, what do you think you carried from growing up and being around your mom that you brought into your role as a mom?
Yeah, absolutely. I got it from my mom, and not just my mom, but my whole family. My whole family is close. So, and I'm talking up to my grandparents. I just got to visit my grandfather in the nursing home before this show. So, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, like we all got together regularly, but within my specific family unit with my mom and dad, just and my sister, very tight knit. And so I think that started with that. And I think if you asked my sister Kristen and I, we were best friends with our moms too, like with our mom. I'm know for sure I'm best friends with my daughters as well, but I had the same connection with my mom.
I love that. Do you have any special memories that you remember, things you still think about or maybe pass down to your daughters?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I don't know which one to pick as the best. Um,
Oh, then not the best. That's hard because there are so many. Maybe like the top couple. What are some of your favorites that first come to mind?
well, so my parents took us to travel quite a bit when we were younger, my sister and I, probably more than most children. So we got the pleasure of going to Disney World. We went locally to Branson and Chicago and St. Louis, but they took us to Hawaii when I was in fourth grade and my
Mm.
sister was in first grade. And so, that seems like a young age, but I remember a lot from that trip, and I remember even how excited my mom was. So one little funny story, I'll try to remember the details the best I can, but there's a big time difference between us and Hawaii, right? The central time zone here in Illinois. And so my
Mhm.
mom had set her alarm for day one after we arrived to get started, right? She was going to hit the ground
Mhm.
running. And I think she didn't account for the time difference. And I think she woke up and saw her watch and thought it was 6:30 in the morning. So she woke my sister up to
Oh.
start getting ready. And then she realized her mistake. So I think dad and I got to sleep in a little bit.
I love it. Hey, you know what? Memories. I think it's so cool that even at that age, you still remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, my parents were big into experiences. Like they took us places. We were not, children are not to be or to be seen, not heard, right? That was not the mantra in my family. We were all very close.
Oh, good for you guys. Well, you brought up Disney. Is that where your love for Disney possibly started? Because I hear there's a big Disney love in your family.
Yeah, I mean, I think we went twice when I was a child. And of course, when I'm going to date myself, when we got our very first VCR, it was a Disney movie, I think, that was put out Christmas morning with the VCR. So I don't know that I would say my mom she definitely was not as infatuated with Disney as I am or my daughters are. But yeah, somehow she maybe blossomed it and it's just grown since then. We are
Oh my
Disney
God, I
adults.
love. You know what? I think that is absolutely amazing, and I support it. I am here from it. I am here for it. That is stinking awesome. Well, I don't know if you guys can still see me. My computer has definitely froze. I love it. We're having all the tech issues today. So I'm going to throw you a question and then I'm going to restart my computer. So I don't want to put you on the spot. You got this. You don't you worry. I promise I got your back, girl. I will be right back. I just don't want to. It's frozen and I want to be able to see your beautiful face and I want to be able to interact with you once we start diving into some of the really heavy and the deep stuff. So until then, I want to just throw something light at you. You were telling me about a tradition. I kind of spoiled it a little bit, but a tradition that you have with one of your beautiful daughters and how Disney kind of plays a role in that. So tell us about some of those beautiful experiences and I will be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, I'm very close with my daughters. My oldest, Shelby, is 27, and my youngest, Marissa, is 24. Up until recently, we all lived within about 10 miles of each other, and I also happen to live within 5 miles of my dad and my grandparents. So, all nearby. So I loved it when my daughters would come over and we would just have a mother-daughter night. We usually did it one-on-one. So I would have a night with one at a time and we would pick something to watch. And a lot of times we end up talking more than watching, but that's fun too. So anyway, my youngest moved to Arizona in May. I miss her terribly. Um, but we had we had a weekly meeting, so I think it was usually Monday nights. We would get together when she was still here in Illinois. We would get together and watch a Disney movie more times than not. I mean, we would pick a different movie sometimes if there was a new release out or whatever. So now that she's in Arizona, we have switched to FaceTime Monday nights. So we get on FaceTime and we queue up a movie at the same time on each other's TVs and we click play at the same time and just sit and watch a movie. And we still end up talking more than watching, most likely. So yeah, Disney was a big part of that. And my oldest and we are watching 90 Day Fiance. So we're into a little bit of drama. I think that's the only reality drama series we watch, or at least that I watch. So we have that in common as well. So look forward to those dates. It was just nice because my mom and I were so close. It was rarely a day that we didn't talk to each other, or we would probably never go more than a day when we talked to each other. So she definitely instilled that closeness. I won't lie, I'm sure we were not the best friends when I was a teenager. I'm sure I didn't like everything she said and did, and I know for a fact she didn't like everything I said and did. But we got really close in adulthood, and I'm really blessed to have had that with my mom and now to have that with my girls. And I'm just as close with my dad now. Now we almost never go a day without talking either. So it's kind of nice to just have that closeness with family. And she didn't come back. Am I to juggle now or sing and dance? Um, let's see, what else can I tell you about me and my family? Hmm. We are taking a Disney vacation, all of us. So both of my daughters got married this year. Yeah, they piled it on mom, but thankfully smaller weddings. So I have two new son-in-laws. So my boyfriend and I, and both of my girls and both of their husbands, all six of us are going to Disney World in November. I think I've lost count. We're probably somewhere in the maybe 10-ish to 15-ish range number of times that we have been to Disney World, at least in some capacity, not always together as a group. But this is the first time we will be taking the guys. So looking forward to that. Perfect timing because
I
I
heard you
had
telling
to
them
do a
about
little
Disney in prep.
fill. Yep, I had to do a little fill, but you're back at just the right time.
I'm proud of you. I am
I
so
was
proud of you,
about to
Laura.
start
I came
juggling.
in and you got you. I should not. I can leave.
Not
I
really.
will
No,
absolutely go,
no,
and you can take
no.
this over. Because look, I think you've already replaced me. I'm already seeing, and the comments are blowing up. So I left and came back, and you're running the show, girl. You're killing it. Um, co-host up. I put the wrong one up. She loves you and she thinks
Yeah.
you're an amazing
Okay.
co-host. So I think you're just taking over the show. I love this. And your crew is chiming in. They are here. They are live.
Aw.
She is chiming in. I love our weekly one-on-ones with grandma and grandpa too.
Yeah, so that I
So,
didn't mention that while I
so
was
cool.
staying.
And we've got Jacob in the house. Jacob, let's throw. Oh, we got all kinds of cool things happening. Oh, you guys, such a good example of showing up and showing love and being the light that our grandma was.
Mm. See, I have
Beautiful,
good family.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Amazing family, literally amazing family. And I think you and I were talking about this. I think that is just such a beautiful extension of your parents, your mom, the entire just relationship that you guys have together is so incredibly beautiful. Now, I want to dive a bit more into your mom and this journey. And this is tough. This sucks. And I applaud you. You are so incredibly brave, especially when everything is so fresh. Your mom just passed away 4 years ago, and you had kind of began to tell me the story when we talked that the irony in this is you and your daughters did the ice bucket challenge 11 years ago. You didn't really know what ALS was back then, right? But you knew you wanted to help. You knew it was a great cause. And then fast forward 10 years and you find that ALS actually wormed its way into your family. So unfortunately enough, so you are direct, again, the irony in this is that you are impacted by the awareness and the funds that were raised from that very challenge that you and your family took part of. So what was it like for your mom and your entire family? Because it's something we know that not just the person battling ALS goes through, it's something the entire family goes through. So what was it like for all of you when you heard those words, you have ALS?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll start with Ice Bucket Challenge. Like you said, I think it's 11 years ago now, but it was 10 years before my mom's diagnosis, almost to the
Yeah.
date, ironically. My oldest participated in that. And if you're on Facebook and you happen to be friends with her, I think the video is on Facebook. So go enjoy Shelby getting iced
Oh.
down. Um, but it was one of the things that it was spreading like wildfire at the time, and everybody was challenging someone else, and so we participated, and I did not get ice bucketed, but anyway, I enjoyed watching Shelby do it. Uh, and so, fast forward 10 years, we knew a couple of folks in our area who had been diagnosed with ALS and have since passed. My mom started having some symptoms. We weren't sure at all what it was. So, a year before her diagnosis, she started having some fairly regular falls. It started with a couple of big falls. She hurt her shoulder and, went to see some doctors and physical therapists and whatnot. And ultimately, I think by the end of the year, things were just changing. So my mom and dad started seeing a neurologist local to us. And I think it was one of those probably frustrating things that I bet a lot of other people have been through, trying to get the answers to the questions that you don't know what's happening. We were afraid that maybe it was even something treatable, and we were losing precious time to, get her started on treatments before things went too badly. But she ended up getting referred to another neurologist in Peoria. We happen to be fortunate enough to have an ALS clinic in Peoria, and they are fantastic. Everybody in that office is amazing. And he diagnosed her on the first visit. So I think they did an EMG, and he was like, "I'm absolutely positive it's ALS." So that was rough. Um, that was definitely it kicked off a very emotional, probably at least 3 months, if not more than that. Um, and I think part of the reason why, I get choked up and I have my moments, but I think part of the reason why I probably can talk about it this soon is I really did start grieving my mom last April. It's a hard thing to hear that you have an illness
Yeah.
and there is absolutely nothing to do to stop it, and you are going to
Yeah.
die. You just don't know when. And so that morning, I think, started then. We had lots of tough times, but
Yeah.
um, we did our best to find humor in it. So that's another legacy that my family has sort of passed down from generation to generation. And we tried to use humor, right, to play it off. You
Yeah.
got to laugh, you got to smile. Probably our humor went to the dark side sometimes, and sometimes even in front of like maybe a home care nurse, or I think maybe at least once even in front of the neurologist himself. And he's probably like, these people are weird, but anyway, it made us laugh, right? If
No.
if you're laughing, you can't be crying. So
Yeah. Is that how your mom approached it too? I lost you for a little bit, so I'm sorry if you already talked about that. But going through that, what was your mom's attitude? How did she handle
yeah,
all of this?
yeah. So my mom, I keep talking about how close our family is, but my
Yeah.
mom was so rooted in family. Like she adored her grandchildren. She loves her kids. She loves her husband. Um, so it was very hard for her to get that diagnosis. She knew that she was going to miss out on lots of big things in the future. And so, I'm not going to say she didn't have probably some pity parties, although she wasn't very obvious about it. And probably I know for a fact, had some really hard times too. But I think day one, I think the day she got diagnosed, I can't remember the joke, but somebody cracked a joke, right? And we laughed through tears, and she just acknowledged that, yes, I want to
Oh,
be able to joke about this. I want to be able to laugh about things. She was a faithful woman. She was very strong in her Christian faith, so she had that to lean on too. But there were definitely hard days. And you said earlier that not just the patient goes through ALS, but also the entire family. Like everybody goes through it. It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
yeah. And you stepped in. I mean, you and your sister both, right? Again, it really is something that affects the whole family. You stepped into this role of a caregiver. I mean, what was that like to now, especially still with your mom at such a young age, or for your mom so early on? What was that like for you?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit, but I think you were asking about just stepping into the caregiver role. So my dad was her primary
Yeah.
caregiver. They would have just celebrated their 50th anniversary this past weekend. So sad that they didn't make it to that. But my sister and I made a big to do on their 49th last year, so that was fun. Um, but
Mm,
anyway, so my dad, he farms, and he pretty much, I mean, for the most part, gave up farming to stay at home with my mom. Both of my parents had been caregivers for their parents all the way up to the diagnosis, and even a little beyond that. So my mom took care of her mom. My dad was taking care of his mom and dad. It's just that's what you do, right? You take care of your kids, you would take care of your
yes.
parents.
Hmm.
So like I stayed with mom a little bit in October while dad was trying to do some harvest activities, right? Be a little bit engaged. He had to, but she was still walking a little bit at that point. So maybe I'll kind of give you a little bit of history about how my mom progressed. So I mentioned the falls in June of 2023, it would have been. Um, I would say by December, she was at least using a cane and maybe starting to use a walker. I might have these dates off just a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
by that following August, she was basically sitting in a wheelchair, and she could get up and walk a little bit to the bathroom, but that was about it. So, so I went and stayed with her while dad worked, and just worked from her
Mm,
house. It wasn't like a big deal. I'm not babysitting my mom, but just to make sure somebody was there in case she had a fall doing one of those transfers to the bathroom or whatnot. And so,
mhm.
harvest ended. My dad stepped right back into full-time caregiver mode. Not that he ever really stepped out, but um, it was
Yeah.
just one of those things. And then in December, mom had a fairly big fall, and it was pretty eye-opening. Like we were at a transition point, and it scared the heck out of my dad. He probably would still tear up if he talked about it, told you the story. But it just got to the point where my parents fought me and my sister because they had been caregivers, and they didn't want to put that kind of burden onto their kids. And my mom had said that for years, right? I'm not going to do this to you. You know, she's happy to be a caregiver, but it's a heavy load.
Yeah.
So I insisted, right? I'm staying. And it became one of those things that I moved in, I think that very day. And thankfully, I had a really good support system with my boyfriend and my kids because they took care of he took care of my dogs, my horses, kept watch over the house. It was
Oh,
a big lift for him too. So I'm very grateful for that. But so started spending the night in the guest room. We always had somebody there then 24/7. And we would still do some transfers onto a commode at that point. Um,
yeah.
but it took two people. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we hit another big transition in January, where I feel like everything sped up starting in December. And bless my sister. Oh my gosh. She, I think I get choked up over that one too. She lives in Florida,
Oh,
and we are fortunate enough to have at least a airline that flies direct from a very nearby city to a very nearby city to her. So she started coming up. It's a big disruption to her life too, because she's leaving behind her family.
oh,
And fortunately, she and
yeah.
I both could work from wherever. So we started taking turns, and every 3 or 4 weeks we would switch out, and the next person would tag in. But it was, like I said, the hardest
Mm.
thing I have ever done.
Jacob says your mom told them on more than one occasion that she was most worried about how it would affect her family. Ah,
She was.
she's a special
She
woman because
even
it
really
does.
fretted over the gene that she was worried she might have the gene that she would pass along, which thankfully she tested negative for that.
Okay. What I mean, since you stepped into that role, right? You and your sister and your dad, being a caregiver, like you said, it's a lot. There's a lot going. So for maybe those that are watching that are stepping into that role, that are new to this ALS journey, that are finding themselves about to be in the shoes that you are in with your family, what advice do you have for them on how do you take care of yourself as a caregiver? What can people do to help you? I think it's kind of a two-parted question, I guess, as I'm saying this, because first of all, so that you're in the best space to be a great caregiver, and then on think want to help but they don't know how to help. So what could people do to also help you in those situations?
Yeah, it's a lot. So I think I'll start with uh, I think I even forgot what the beginning of the question was, dear.
That's okay.
But
How do
anyway,
you, as a caretaker? No, no, no. I'm throwing a lot at you.
how do you
As a
take care of
caretaker, how do you
yourself?
take care of yourself? Yeah. How do
Yeah.
you keep yourself at your best to be the best caregiver for your mom, for anybody that you're taking care of?
Yeah, so speaking for myself, I don't think I did. I didn't keep myself at the best, and therefore I didn't always give the best care, you know. It's impossible for anybody to not get frustrated or beat down or just tired, and it has nothing at all to do with how they feel about the patient.
Yeah.
It's a 24/7 disease. It takes something almost regularly, and it stinks because you start to get a routine. You start to sort of figure things out. And then it just pulls the rug right out from under you and it changes something again. So I'll take a moment to just say, huge shout out to ALS United. I gave a shout out to our ALS team in Peoria, but they were the ones, our ALS clinic connected us with Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I hope you see this. Um, they connected us with Kelly and told us to reach out to her and just have a consult. And Kelly was amazing. She was so supportive. She was so kind. She talked through problem solving with us. She gave us lots of good advice early on. And then she offered all of this equipment. And that's one of the best things I think that probably people's donations go towards. And it truly does
Mhm.
stay here in the community. So insurance covers so little when it comes to the adaptive type of equipment that you need to live your life. And she provided that. They had an amazing lending closet. I drove over like one day in August with my pickup truck and I came home with a bed load of supplies like commodes, wheelchairs. I think she gave us like an indoor and an outdoor wheelchair, a hospital table to keep bedside, lots of things. And that progressed even further into the disease. If we said mom was having trouble sleeping, an Amazon box would show up and it would have one of those air pressure control mattress covers in it. So she was just fantastic. Or mom's starting to have trouble eating. So some adaptive silverware showed up and that was helpful. So huge, huge shout out to ALS United for that. I know that saved a lot of money and even just a lot of heartache and frustration early on too. And thankfully we were able to give most of that equipment back. There's a few things that they won't reloan, but we were able to give most of that back and anything that we had captured as well.
Mhm.
Um, so anyway, back to taking care of yourself. I think it definitely helped me. I'll speak for me. I won't speak for Kristen, but it was a huge help that we were able to tag in and tag out for a little bit. I will say that 3 or 4 weeks becomes very long towards the end. You are exhausted. You're not sleeping. Even as a mom, moms will know this. You
Mhm.
wake up to anything, right? Any little noise your kids make and you're awake. And so it was that way with my mom. Like I would just hear the BiPAP machine change, right? It would just something would sound just a little bit different with her breathing and it would wake me up. So um funny side story on
Right.
that one too. We were looking for ways for my mom to be able to call for us if she was napping or sleeping. And as she lost her ability to
Mhm.
speak, and so my sister was smart. She got one of those wireless doorbells that you just plug in. So we had a little clicker that mom could click the little button on the doorbell and it would chime. And it was in the hallway between the bedroom that I was sleeping in and my parents' bedroom. My parents' bedroom door would be open and she would push that button and my dad wouldn't hear it. He slept right through that, like any dad does.
I think it's in their genes. Dads are just, my dad, same thing. A tornado could come, the house would be on fire, and he would be asleep.
Yeah, I mean, this thing would make you jump out of your skin when it went off, and I would be in the bedroom then at that point, like helping to transfer mom or get her more comfortable or whatever. And dad's like, "Oh, did she call? What are you doing in here?" So anyway, that's funny as well. But definitely that trading in and out helped a lot. But I'll be honest, there were some times that I just did not feel like I probably even did my mom justice. It was hard to occasionally not lose, get a little bit frustrated and show some of that frustration. And I always felt terrible after doing it. But like I said, it wasn't her, it was the disease. And we would talk about that. I'd apologize and let her know that. But for those people who are going through it, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about the things that they're doing, but you don't hear a lot of people talk about what toll it played on them. And I'm just telling you, if you're feeling a feeling, somebody else has felt that feeling.
That's awesome. That's good advice. And I think the power of the community, right? Like you said it, you had this beautiful network of people around you, your family, the ALS United, you had people. I think when you're going through something like this, it really does take a village. You need those people around you that you can lean on and rely on and that can help you through this journey every step of the way.
Yeah, and so you
And
also
we're
asked about things that the community maybe can do. What can
yeah,
you do to help caregivers and patients?
yeah.
Just a couple of ideas. It was nice to just maybe get a cooked meal once in a while so that was something that we didn't have to worry about, right? We didn't have to worry about. I was still working full time. My sister was still working full time.
Mhm.
My dad sometimes had to go to the farm. So it was a lot to do the work and then the caregiving and then dinner on top of that. So that was a lovely gesture, was very nice. And I would say also the thing that probably made a big difference to mom is just friends who stopped by or called. She really felt isolated as she was no longer walking and really not really leaving the house. And so, um, that's an easy thing to do is just we had a family member, an extended family member who would send a card literally every week. And that made my mom's week. Like she loved to
Oh,
get this card. And she might just be like, hi, here's what's going on in my world
Yeah.
this week. Here's a picture of my two beautiful golden retrievers, right? And it really touched my mom. And so it really is just little things.
I love that. And I love having these conversations because it saying it out loud, it might seem really obvious, but it doesn't. It doesn't when you're in those moments, right? And sometimes I think as a community member or as a friend, we can feel like we have to say it out loud because we don't want to be
I think we lost Season. Okay, well, I will then launch into something else that she and I had talked about sharing in this meeting. So I mentioned the ALS United and how much they helped us with problem solving. If you're dealing with ALS, you are going to become a big problem solver, and you have to get pretty creative with some of those problems. I know we did, but we got involved. So when I picked up that load of equipment last August, my mom even prompted, we wanted to give something back. How can we repay this, in some way? And Kelly, immediately, she's like, just get involved in the walk, which I didn't really know anything about at that point. So, started looking into that because, yeah, I mean, if that's what we can do to help out, that's what we're going to do. So, pretty much a family team. We formed a team. Um, my kids got involved, even some extended family members got involved. Lots of, good support from our friends and family in donating. And prepping for that walk, one of the things that they were doing was friendship bracelets. And so we decided to make a night out of friendship bracelets. We got pizza, I think. I think it was pizza. Went to mom and dad's, me and my kids. Unfortunately, my sister was still in Florida, but we had pizza and we made bracelets. And yes, we even got dad to make some bracelets. I won't say he did a lot, but he made some bracelets too. Um, and that's where we kind of then sort of solidified some of our walk information. It was kind of to prepare for that. And so we needed to come up with a team name too. And I know you wanted to hear about the team name Season. So for those of you who don't know us, our team name is Not Fast, Just
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Furious. Not Fast, Just Furious. It has a longer backstory into my career life. But anyway, we were throwing out team names, and someone just threw that one out there, and everybody was like, yes, that's it. That's the one. Um, and so, no, we are not big Fast and Furious fans. I don't know of anybody in the family necessarily who is. I've maybe seen parts of one of the movies. But it was just ironic because you're right. We are not fast. I mean, the disease is moving fast, but we certainly are not. And furious, yeah. I mean, it's really infuriating. So that became our team name. And another little funny story about my mom. So, and that bracelet making night, my grandfather, her father, who passed about 13 or 14 years ago, one of his common sayings was, that's a bunch of bullshit. And so he would hear something, right? And he would throw that out. So that became a repeated phrase, probably almost daily, if not multiple times a day, just to present that humor. And so there's even a bracelet. I think Shelby made it. There's a bracelet that says TABBS. She just abbreviated it. So people sometimes will ask, like,
Oh,
tabs, what's that? And you get a chance to tell them, so that lives on. Passed from my grandfather to my mother, and it'll pass down to my kids, I'm sure. Probably not the
I
most,
love.
probably not the greatest legacy, but it
Nope.
is what it is.
I did not know that about the bracelet. Now I need that in my life. No joke. I'm gonna have to go make a bracelet
Okay, so to
just to
take
be
that
able to
story
say,
one step further,
yeah, please.
mom started losing her ability to talk. I mean, her voice was changing, probably from shortly after the diagnosis, but she was really getting hard to understand towards the end. So she was able to get a Tobii Dynavox. That's the eye gaze technology that allows you to
Yeah.
speak through a computer. And again, shout out to ALS United. That takes many weeks to get approved through your insurance. They do cover it. If you have basically entirely lost your ability to speak, they won't cover it until then. So ALS United loaned us a Toby device, and that was fantastic. So one of the very first phrases, you can put custom phrases in there, and yes, one of the very first phrases was, "That's a bunch of bullshit."
Yes. I seriously, bracelets, we all need them. We need those. That's a bunch of bullshit bracelets. I did not know about this. I'm not kidding. I'm
Yeah,
organizing all my girlfriends. They're coming over. We're going to make some bracelets, and I will be sending
there
you a
you go.
picture of us in Bali wearing
I
our
hope you
bracelets
do.
for
I
your
hope you do.
mom. And I
Okay.
love that. And then every time anybody asks me, I will get to tell the story about your mom. I will get to tell them about her
Oh,
and her favorite catchphrase. I think that
I
is
love that. It's her
absolutely
story
amazing.
continues on.
And your name, 100%. 100%. You will be getting flooded with photos from me. And then we'll have to do a little journey of where does that bracelet go? Every time we go somewhere in
Ooh,
Bali, the bracelet will
that
travel
sounds
around
like a
with us.
travel challenge to me too. We're gonna have to start packing more often and getting out. Mm, good
Yes.
idea.
Yes. I'm trying. I'm trying to get you out. I mean, if you could just
Yeah.
put Sam in your suitcase and you could just bring her with you. I've been trying to get her out here for a while. You guys should come out and we'll take these bracelets everywhere. We can do an Asia tour.
Heck
We'll
yeah.
take them all over. Yeah.
That would be
I love
awesome.
this idea. We're going to talk. It's happening.
We're gonna
I'm
manifest
serious.
it somehow.
We will. I'm going to my Bali crystals. It's going to happen. But so I love the bracelets. And by the way, your team name is, I think, one of my all-time favorites. I love that
Aw.
story. I love the name. It rolls off the tongue so easy. That is so exciting. In case you said it, because I'm sorry, guys. Thank everyone who's watching. Thank you for bearing with us for this horrific Wi-Fi connection. I'm so sorry, but Laura, you are a champ and you are holding it down, girl. Like I said, you're going to replace me. You've got the show on lockdown. So in case you said it, I am really sorry. But what led you to the walk in the first place? I mean, there's so many great things that you can do to advocate for this disease and to share your mom's story. Why did you guys decide to join Walk ALS?
Yeah, so I did get a chance to talk about that a little bit, but it started the day that I picked up that truckload of equipment that we were bringing home, and we didn't even necessarily need all of the equipment that Kelly sent home with us on day one, but it was so nice to have what we needed when we needed it. And so, we were standing there outside of a storage unit loading up the truck, and I'm like, and Mom felt this way too. She really wanted to give back. She wanted to support other people who were going through this with her. So we asked Kelly, what can we do to kind of repay this, even if it's in the future? And she
Yeah.
pushed the walk. And so that's how we got started in there. Yeah, and we'll do
Oh,
it again this year. We'll be there again
I'm
this year.
so
So if
excited.
anybody wants to join the team with apparently the best team name, uh, come on out, join the team.
Best team name and super fun bracelets. So you
And
should come and
amazing
join.
people.
That goes without saying. We don't even need to. I mean, that one's just the obvious. That one's the obvious. So yeah, seriously, come and join the team. Be a part of this. I mean, who wouldn't want to be with a team name like that? Do you guys have shirts, by the way? Do you have shirts with this name on it
Not with the team name on it. So this is the shirt
next
that
year?
we made for our team
Love
last year. And shout out
it.
to my son-in-law Jacob's mom because she made them for us. And there's ALS information on the back, and she is making a new T-shirt this year for us. So if you want a T-shirt, you have
Perfect.
to join the team very soon so we can try to get you a T-shirt. But yeah,
Ah,
some at some
and
point we probably do need to put the team name on there.
I think so. And how do people join if they do want to join? Sam is usually behind the scenes and she's got all these links already ready to go. So you guys are stuck with me tonight. But how do people join if they do want to join? Not fast, just furious.
So if you are a friend of one of us on Facebook, you can go to
Cool.
our page. And by us, I mean my family. I think all of us have posted the team
Yep.
page. So you can click the link
Cool.
and you can go on there and you can sign up, you can donate, whatever. If you're
Perfect.
not current friend of us, come be a friend of
Mhm.
ours. You can go to the ALS United page, and I think there's probably places where you could. I think you have to go to the Get Involved page and then find the Peoria Walk. And I believe there's even a list of team names there, or you can look us up by team name. I'm I'm very serious
Yeah,
about that offer. If people want to join the team, come on out, whether that's virtual or
love that.
walk. And even if you don't join the team, and you want to come walk with us, just show up that day.
Nice.
I think Season said that earlier, and you don't have to
Mhm.
pre-register, but it's
Mhm.
just a very upbeat day to kind of step out of the routine and
Yes.
enjoy other people who understand what you're going through.
It's true. And that leads me to kind of the next thing. So, for people that maybe have never been to a Walk ALS, that haven't experienced it, what are some of the highlights? What were some of your favorite moments from your first experience there last year?
Yeah, so I will start with I am an introvert. I am not the type of person who will just walk up and introduce themselves to someone else. So I will admit we were probably not the most engaging group last year because I just didn't know anyone else there. I will say I'm going to stop there for just 1 second. I did know one other person there, and I want to come back to that story. So don't let me forget that season.
I won't. I
Um,
got you. Mental note.
Okay, but it was just very upbeat. I remember music, there was merchandise. They were trading bracelets. If you didn't want to go up to somebody and ask them to trade a bracelet, they had a boatload of bracelets out on a table where you could go up and trade and get what you wanted. There were
Oh,
gift baskets for raffles. I think last year we did an Olive Garden themed gift basket because my daughter works there and we were able to score some items there for that. That was awesome. I think there was a bouncy house or something for the kids. I don't have littles, so but yeah, it was just a very chill, nice event. And we got lucky last year and got a beautiful day. It was considerably cooler than I think the week before, and it was a gorgeous day. And it's at Dozer Park. That's kind of cool. So
that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, it is just it's a cool outing. And even if I always like to say this because I don't want people thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't know someone with ALS, I can't be a part of it. It's not that. It is such a cool environment. Come, be surrounded. It is such a day of just hope and love and inspiration and encouragement. It's such a blast. Just come out,
Yeah.
be there. The Mazzantis from Virginia, I think he loves this. They love your team name too, that family. They are a bit far away, so they cannot come and join your team at the walk, but they'll swim for you. They can go
I
out
like it.
at lake, they could take a swim, and they will be thinking of your mom.
Yeah, so September
Oh,
6th, go out
thanks,
for a
Miss
swim
Aunties. We're gonna
and
hold you
think of
to
my
that.
mom. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. The challenge. Do you accept it, Ms. Aunties? I hope you put in that comment. Yes, you do. You guys on September 6th, go out and do a swim and think about her mom and do it in the name of not fast, just furious. I'm just looking for any way I can say the name over and over and over because it is so much fun.
That
But
felt like a good way
yeah,
to close the show. I'm not asking you to, but it just sounded like a closer. So anyway, maybe later.
well, now the pressure's on. I'm going to have to come up with a second great closer by the time the show actually does end. The Mazzantis are in on September 6th. They will absolutely
Awesome.
be be swimming for your mom. I love that. That is so so
I
so 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 cool.
I will say you have no idea how touching that is. I mean, honestly, I love that people would do that. So thank you.
Yeah, they will, and they'll be thinking about Linda on September 6th. That is fantastic. Well, well, now where do I go from here since we had the perfect closer? But I do still have more things I want to know. So
Okay,
I
let's
don't want
go.
to end on that because you obviously, I mean, you were talking about some of the really cool things. You are coming back again this year. What does that look like for you? Is your team growing? What are you looking forward to? What's coming up on September 6th?
Yeah. So currently, I was probably a little bit of a late register for the team this year. Just went unnoticed for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, there's the email a few days back in my, actually I think it was a few weeks back in my email. So we got the team signed up. It has changed a little bit. My daughter and her husband in Arizona unfortunately won't be with us, but my oldest daughter and her husband, Shelby and Jacob, will be with us. And Shelby has some amazing friends that she works with or has previously worked with, and they've joined our team this year as well. So, we're still a small team at this point, but opportunity, we can grow.
Mm-hmm. Anyone that wants to join. And you know what? I think that's really cool because your daughter too can do the virtual walk. Are they going to get out? Is her family going to get out on the
You,
6th and just walk
you
around
know,
in honor?
yeah, we haven't really talked about that, but I'm gonna do that after we're done. And if she sees this, forewarned, you're gonna get asked.
Look, I am throwing out all kinds of challenges on this show. We've got the Mazantes who will be swimming on the 6th. Now we've just signed your daughter up with her family to do a virtual walk. I think she might be in. I think she just chimed in that she is in. They're going to do a virtual
Oh,
walk in honor of your
love
mom and the
that.
team. Yes. And you know what, guys? You should, Marissa is her name, right?
Yes,
Your daughter?
Marissa.
Marissa, I'm going to just keep the challenge rolling. Why not, right? Not only are you and your family going to get out, grab your friends, grab your network out there where you are at, and you guys do a little walk celebration and then, end up at a park, end up back at your place, have some drinks, have a blast, and just celebrate your grandma. Why not? Let's keep this going.
Heck
I love it.
yeah.
I'm just out here. I'm filling up everybody's summer plans. Don't you worry, guys. We'll have you all booked up on September 6th.
And I do want to let people know, maybe who don't know about the walk, it is zero obligation when you show up for the walk. So don't think like you're gonna walk in the door and we're gonna do pull a season and we're gonna challenge you to do all kinds of things. It's not that at all. You don't have to give any money. You don't have to even join a team. You don't have to know anybody with ALS. Just come have a fun day.
Just come and enjoy and just be around people that you're going to have a absolute blast with. So I challenge that. I know you talked about it before, but I think it's just something that we need to say again because it's so incredibly important. And I didn't even really get to ask you what ALS United has meant to your family, right? You were saying some of the things and some of the things they were able to do for you, but for those people again that are watching, that I hope they never ever have to come in
Mm.
and experience what you did. So I hope they stay on the outside and never know. What is it like to have ALS United be there for you? And you kind of touched on it, but where is that money going? You got to directly benefit from everybody watching. When we do ask if you have any time, if you want to donate your time, if you want to donate your money, where is all that going? How did you benefit from this?
Yeah, so I did mention, the equipment and that was a big thing, but I think the support was probably the best thing that they gave to us. So I also hope that you never have to use it. But if you do, or if you're currently in that situation and you don't have an ALS United, representative that you're working with or caseworker, contact someone because like I said, if we were frustrated, if we were trying to solve a problem, whatever we needed, Kelly was there. And that was huge. And she gave some really good advice early on about, don't plan ahead because unfortunately, ALS is different for everyone. So you can't really anticipate what's going to come. You kind of just roll with the punches. And she took those punches with us and came up with really great ideas. But I probably don't even know all of the ways in which the money gets used, but I do know it stays local. I will say that lending closet was fantastic. There were times when Kelly wasn't sure if she would have the piece of equipment. Unfortunately, there's enough people that need it, and I hate that. But so any money that they raise, I'm sure is going right back into it. She even so my mom in her giving, she sent a gift card to Kelly for Christmas last year. I was able to hand deliver that when I was meeting up with her. And you know what Kelly did? She turned around and gave that gift card to a family who was, I believe, traveling within the state for treatments and having lots of expenses. So she gave it to that family for gas. And that's just what kind of person she is.
I love this. I love that we get to hear straight from somebody who got to be a part of the ALS United family so that people watching this know where every dollar is going, know where that time. Again, it's not just money, right? Money is very helpful and we need it. The only way we can keep
Sure.
doing this and keep in this fight is money. I'm not going to ignore that. But also your time, your energy, spreading awareness, sharing stories, coming out to the walk, all of those things make a huge impact in this fight. And I love being able to hear from you what that experience was like for you guys, because a reminder, in case it isn't blaringly obvious, no family pays a dime. When you guys come in, every piece of equipment that was lended, every help that you received, the clinics, the getting to the clinics, the support groups, the symposium, all of these things, they are free. We are out here trying to do everything we can, and we can only make that happen because of amazing and generous donors like anyone that is watching this show right now. Every dollar that you give to this, every information that you share, every time you attend an event, every volunteer hour that you've given us, I promise you all of it is going to such great use, and it's helping people like your mom. It's helping make the burden a little bit easier so that you guys don't have to worry about little things, and you can spend your time focusing on the memories and the moments that you have.
So true.
Yeah. We've got some other amazing comments that are jumping up. I just want to make sure that you're seeing these, and I want to share them with you. That is so cool. Josh, we're converting. Josh is in on the virtual walk.
Oh, Josh is in on the virtual walk. Yeah, we got Florida
He
walkers
wants to
now.
know more about it.
Sweet. Thanks, Josh. Thanks,
I
Kristen.
love it. Let's keep it going. Let's see how
Drag
many
my
we
niece
can
and
get
nephew out there
in all the
too. Get
states.
Isaiah and Mariah
Yeah,
out.
all of you. I love it. I'm all throwing another challenge out too. How many states can we get? How many walks can we get on the 6th going for this team around the world? Let's make it happen. We'll do one right here in Bali. I will commit to it on September 6th. I will commit to doing a walk in honor of your mom and your team, and we're going to be rocking our bracelets, and we will take a beautiful walk.
Susan, I love that. I love that. And I think that makes
It's gonna
4 now. Like not just states, but we've got what? Bali, Virginia, Arizona, and now
yeah,
Florida, right?
in Florida, 4. And you know what? We'll
Okay.
even have to, if I time it right, then I can maybe get you on video, and I will take you with us on the walk as we go around, and you guys can be a part of it as well.
I love that. Except there's a giant time difference, right?
There is. There is. So if we do an early morning one, or yeah, we'll have to do an early morning one. Otherwise, it will be
Yeah.
dark and you won't get to see anything. But
Yeah.
it's cool. I'm good with that. We'll do like a 5 or 6 a.m. walk. It's worth it, and we will make it happen.
Let's do it.
I love that. And the Mazzantis are amazing. He is also giving you a shout out. They are so incredible. Oh, you're so
Oh,
inspiring and humble. Bless you, from a retired pediatric oncology nurse.
thank you. That
He is
really does mean a lot.
incredible. And Jacob is back in. I love it. You guys are blowing up the comment section today. This is so amazing. Maybe do a couple walks on your own first, though, so you aren't panting 10 minutes if you're as big of a couch potato as we are. So, okay, Jacob, challenge. Get out there and do a couple walks first. Get out there and have some fun. Get ready. Get ready for it. You got some time. We got a couple weeks until September 6th, so you're good to go.
We'll take mini walks too. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Well, Laura, you are absolutely amazing. I love you. You have been such a champ. Not only are you just an incredible woman, an incredible mom, such a super inspiration, an ALS advocate and warrior, an incredible caretaker. The list of things that you are incredibly talented in is very long. And now we can add co-host or straight up show host to that list. You are amazing. Thank you for holding it down. You are absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that you came on. I definitely want to have you back so we can hear how the second year of the walk went. Hopefully there will be a third. We'll get these virtual walks going. So you and I are going to stay in touch. But before we go, I love to end the show on some challenges. And the irony is we've been throwing challenges out all show. So let's give them one more. Everyone that's watching, or anyone that does watch the show, what can we do to honor your mom?
Oh, yeah. So I mentioned my mom's kindness, and I think that's really what will leave a lasting legacy with people that she knew. So I would just say one of the things that's inspired me to do is maybe, not always react to, especially in a situation with a stranger, not always to react with frustration and give people the benefit of the doubt and not knowing what they're going through at home. But I
Yeah.
would say for my mom's legacy, do something nice or give somebody a compliment. Even if it's somebody reach out, say hi. Like those are all things that my mom would just love.
I love that. So another challenge, as if we needed more, but let's add them to the list, guys. I think that's beautiful, Laura. Do something kind. Give someone a compliment. Do something kind, and think about Linda. I think that's incredible. Laura, thank you so much for sharing. Like I said, I know this is still super fresh. So thank you for coming out and sharing her story. Thank you for everything you and your entire family are doing to spread awareness and to continue the fight for your incredible mom. I hope you guys have the most amazing walk.
Thank you.
Keep this fight going. Let's end this together. So thank you for everything you're doing to make that possible.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll see you again soon. Don't you
Oh,
worry. I'm going to
yes.
rope you into this again.
Oh, no.
uh, yes, it's going to happen. I don't know. Well, have an amazing walk, and I will see you again soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Oh, she is just the cutest. I think she doesn't know it yet, and what she might not agree to it, but I think I'm going to rope her in. She's going to become one of my new best friends. She is just the sweetest. Their family is so incredible. I'm so excited to get to share her and her mom's story with all of you. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Thank you for bearing with us through all of these crazy tech issues. The beauty of live shows. Make sure you guys tune in for our next episode on September 16th. Don't forget, we're going to have another amazing guest to join us then. And in the meantime, guys, let's take some of these challenges to heart. Why not, right? Let's end the summer with a bang. Let's get out there and do some virtual walks in honor of those fighting the battle for ALS. If you are around, come out and join on September 6th, on September 21st, and on September 7th. Come and be a part of those activities. I will see you guys next time. And until then, as always, everyone, be bright and shine your light. I'll see you all very soon. I love it. This is why I need Sam. Our outro video isn't playing, so I'm just going to throw it out, and I will catch you guys later.